Auckland, a massive city, over 1 million people. Plenty of islands to go check out, like Waiheke Island. Spectacular part of the globe, isn't it, NZ? 45 minutes south, we find Pukekohe Park. Historic racetrack, been racing around here since the 60s and since 2003 with the supercars. And back on track today for their 7th year now. Looking down on them from above in the Avis drone cam, it's the Ssangyong Rhino Racing Series, ready for their 3rd and final race on a tricky racetrack. It's dry in some sections, wet in others. How's this all going to play out as we get set to queue them up behind Kirk Stoneman and Todd Progine, two of the fastest drivers in the field, will be starting on the front row together. Lincoln Prouting picked up a race win so far this week and he's been quick. Mark Mallard's been quick and aggressive. How about that name? Lowndes starting outside row 3. It's Nick Lowndes. He's picked up the scholarship in this championship, reigning champ coming out of 10. James Watson won the first race this weekend but had that taken away. Alex Sherry had a lot of work to do on the 177 car to get that back out on track after heavy contact yesterday. So they're queued up behind the Vodafone safety car, rolling start. And if you've not seen this series, you're in for a treat because it is very entertaining. We've seen them too wide around turn 1, not just on the first lap, but making bold and crazy passing maneuvers around there all weekend long. Good field of cars, 10 rows, 20 Sangyongs. For season number 7, this is round number 1. They'll be visiting Pukekohe on a few occasions this season. Stoneman and Prugine to lead us back to the green flag. Some good karma probably owing the way of the 44 after he spent all of yesterday trying to fix one of his competitors' cars for a crash that he had nothing to do with. Just a nice guy, Andy Jones, as we get set to drop the hammer with the mighty Sangyongs.
And it's a good thing to have a couple of nice guys around you when you're in trouble, that's for sure. A little bit of help to fix your race car is always appreciated.
Alrighty, green flag, and away we go. Oh, the front 2 rows don't really go anywhere. All the action's from row 3 and 4. 20 cars covered by absolutely nothing as we pour them into turn 1.
Honestly, could we have a tighter field off the grid there on this race start? That was unreal, and they're still fighting. Surely
from the Avis drone cam, that's the view as they go scattering through turns 2 and 3. And to save the Rhinos, Sangyong's facing backwards. It's given us a 2 or 3 car length gap for this front field. Oh, and there's more going on in the background. Bang, that's a heavy hit for the 26 of West and the Thirsty Liquor entry. That was concrete. And that might just bring about a Vodafone safety car, but they'll still race down at turns 5 and 6. It's kind of like racing back to the yellow flag here.
And they'll still continue to race too wide as well, Chad. So within the space of the first 3 corners, we saw 3 separate incidents that ended up resulting in 2 Sangyongs spinning around. One making pretty heavy contact on the exit of turn 4 with the concrete. This continues here. We're on board with All West. Got a slow-moving Ssangyong in the back there. And now we see the safety car boards and flags being waved. So the Vodafone safety car will make a couple of tours of the Pukekohe Park circuit.
That's good signs to see Ricky West out of that car. And that car pitched heavily across into the fence. What a different weekend we're seeing to what we had a couple of weeks ago at Tail and Bandus. The Saving the Wild entry is still out on track. I think everyone missed him, which is good.
Having not been able to save the wild slide that he had down on the exit of turn 1.
Here's replays of the start, so we'll cover that first.
So as you mentioned, Chad, there was a bit of a bottleneck in the first 2 rows there, and that condensed everybody else in the mid-pack. Oh. And at some points there, we've got 3, 4 wide, and everybody going, I've got nowhere to go. It's like trying to find a car park at Christmas time. You're all boxed in, trying to fight over the same bit of road. Now, this is the issue for the 51.
How was that only 1 car facing the wrong way at that point of the track? How
and
cool
not
is this?
being collected.
Oh, that's what I mean. It's just amazing that no one else got into that. If anything, there was more drama at the exit of turn 4. From Christina All West point of view.
Wow, how's the throttle applications going? And Christina was right in the middle of it, literally there. That's the 51 of Vanderloo's spun across the front. Racing incident, you can't do much about that. A little bump draft going on. I wonder what the telephone
Data
G
center.
monitor said that impact was. And that's what's in that Ziploc bag there on the dashboard. But there's plenty more to go on.
Here it
You
goes.
fold my mirror in, I'll fold yours out. And now we're even.
Must have been waiting for the whack, and it never came.
That's the onboard judicial camera that you could see there. It's the worst feeling, Chad, at the start of a race when you're in the front of the field or the mid-pack and you end up spinning, possibly through no fault of your own, and then you're just sitting there waiting for the crunch, hoping that nobody's going to make contact with you. Thankfully, Vanderloos will just spin, find first gear. Now here we see him at the back of the field.
So Taylor Bend a few weeks ago, I think we had one safety car across every single race in the weekend from memory, and it was for the fire that we had in the Aussie racing cars. This weekend's probably been the exact opposite. I'm struggling to think of a race, maybe the Formula Ford race yesterday is the only one that hasn't had a safety car so far. It's been really hectic stuff. Now watch the background.
There's a long way on the exit of the corner, which is weird. So was there contact with the 17? Front of the 17 into the back of 26, which helped him around, but or did that?
All right, so on board with Christina Allwest from her point of view once again. We'll check out exactly how this all played out. Why don't we just let you enjoy it?
Keep a listen out for that really aggressive throttle that I was talking about through turn one.
Where the safety car came out, driving that thing like a Sydney cab driver, especially in turn one, just on off the throttle.
And that's pretty standard for the start of a race like that. When you're looking forward, you're not looking at the car ahead of you, you're looking 2, 3, 4 cars ahead, trying to work out where everybody is. Reason for that is to give yourself enough time to be able to react to any incident if it happens further ahead. If you're just looking at the back of, let's say, the 06 here in front of Christina, then she limits the amount of time that she has to react. A couple of big things that I noticed out of there, just how hard she can commit to the throttle at the apex. It's literally just a switch on off. So lack of power, but you want to get on the throttle, you don't want to come off it again. The other thing, she was really confident early on at the braking zone down at turn 5. And the last thing that I noticed, Chad, was that the little bit of race tape on the dash there that says more rear is not put on very straight. So I want to go out there and I want to straighten that up for her, just so that it sits square to everything else that's on the dash.
While you're out there, could you go pick up that tray back that's out there? So, oh no, it's come off the, whoa, and it's nearly hit the safety car. The tray back has come off the back of the ute, flown across the racetrack. Here we go from the safety car's point of view. Oh. At what point do we say we've seen it all this weekend? And from the drone cam. Wow. And good heads-up reaction from Kirk Stoneman to miss that one as well.
I would have thought there'd be a couple of R-clips or like bonnet pins holding those tray tubs on. I know they're not normally going backwards, but has the impact into the wall dislodged those R-clips, allowing a little bit of air to get underneath it, popping the top of the tray off, and allowing you, Chad, for the first time since probably you first watched Days of Thunder, to say it nearly hit the pace car.
Yes. But it's still out there and in a really awkward spot at the moment. We've got an official down there to go and collect that one.
At a guess, I would have thought, what would one of those things weigh? Even a fiberglass one or a race spec one, it'd have to weigh be 8 to 10 kilos, wouldn't it?
And not all of them are the same as well in this series. Some of them are running more of a fabric style. These ones are believed to be more aerodynamically efficient.
So that looks like the fabric type.
There you go, yep.
Just your standard Torno.
If anyone needs one for a Ssangyong in the car park today, go see that fella from up above on the Avis drone cam. Good news, we're good to go again here. Lights are out on the Vodafone safety car. We're going to cue them up behind Kirk Stoneman, third and final race. Going to run out of laps here, maybe. There's 5 to go, 4 on the restart.
Back to your original point that you were making earlier about the Vodafone safety car and how many times we've seen it this weekend. It has been the car that's covered the most amount of laps around the circuit, I would add a guess.
It's going to be leading the safety car championship by the end of this weekend. Now wait for those green flags. Could be fireworks on this restart. I feel like Stoneman's picking up the pace and there's still yellows there.
Yeah, I just noticed that and I thought this is interesting. He's already going and the safety car boards and flags are still waving. You do have to wait till you can see the green, which we now can at the top of the shot. So because it's a New Zealand class, they may have some different rules to the ones that we normally see.
We've seen this weekend. Send it to the top and go around the outside. That's exactly what Brooke's trying to do. He's got a bit of room down at turn 2. They lean on each other. Good racing for the lead. Oops, one across the grass.
It's not abnormal for us in the Ssangyong series to see 2x2 racing for more than one lap. And that job, that was not completed. In fact, going back another one.
How's the pack racing here? We've got a 5-car breakaway. Queuing up behind Stoneman again. Mallard in the inside with Progene giving him a shove. Problem's going to be stopping though. Brooke again around the outside. And this time has got it done.
And Brooke had to do that. He had to. He had nowhere else to go. There were 3 cars lined up down the right-hand side, all wanting to get by him. Great commitment. And now he leads the race.
Watch out for Christina or West. Watch out for Mallard on the outside. Here she comes. She's managed to get herself into this fight. She started 10th. She's now 5th. Pretty impressive when we've really had one green flag lap. We go on board with her right now. All eyes forward on Lincoln Prouting.
Oh, you're surely not going to go up the inside there, Christina.
She's made her own gap and got it done. Good move. Aggressive. She's very aggressive. She's fast. She picked up the pole this weekend as well. Claims to be New Zealand's fastest mum.
She looks very comfortable flowing that car with massive amounts of speed through the corner, but unlike some of the other cars, it's not sliding around as much. So Christina's very much at home.
Second last lap. We'll go one short here today. In the background, that's Prouting fighting with Alexandra Whitley. Whitley's got company. It's James Watson. She'll get a shove here.
And this is the exact battle that we saw raging in yesterday's race where these two were going at it, swapping paint, and it continues again on Sunday.
How big is the advantage of having someone to push you along? Love the shape of turns 5 and 6. You can commit around the outside and compete. Oh, a bit on here. Progene over the grass. Damage to the back of Mallard's car, or West to the inside.
Unlike Brooke the lap before, Prouting wasn't able to execute that move by going around the outside at 5 and having the inside run at 6.
Back on board with All West. Pushing Todd Progene forward. Mallard's going to be on the outside here.
Car bouncing around over the bumps as they come off the curbs at the final corner. Still heavy into the throttle. All West now trying to use a little bit of the toe to get up onto the back of Progene. They clear Mallard.
Last lap. Last chance to make some moves. Brooke and Stoneman still fighting for the lead. Progene third, All West, Mallard. Oh, and one in the fence, it's Lowndes.
And the hand up tells the story, doesn't it? Disappointment, particularly when you're getting a little bit of a helping hand into the rear of your car to spin you around.
Progene on the defensive side of the racetrack. Covers off All West nicely. Has anyone got an answer for Brooke? Could we have 3 race winners this weekend from the 3 races? 3 different race winners, that is.
It certainly doesn't look like it at this point, does it, mate? Brooke has been well and truly in control. There was that great little battle early on, but the commitment that he showed to hang tough on the outside through that little complex at 5 and 6 allowed him to now control this race.
Back up in front of the big Pukekohe crowd for the final time. The Roof Improvements number 30 is going to get the job done on Sunday race day at Pukekohe, the 3rd and final race of the Ssangyong Rhino Racing Series. Give it to Murray Brook. Great drive, Christina All-West, 10th to 4th. Missed out on 3rd by only a few thousandths of a second. But a really, really entertaining race that had plenty going on, particularly on the opening lap. And there's a few sorry-looking race cars making their way back to the pits after that one.
And once All-West got some clear air, which was that final lap, she did set the quickest lap of the race. So plenty of speed continues from Christina All-West.
2 ladies inside the top 10. That's Christina All-West and Alexandra Whitley. Murray Brook doing a really nice job to get that move done around the outside of turn 1. Top Regine started on the front row, fell back a couple of spots and ended up fighting inside the top 5 with Christina All-West right to the checkered flag. Lowndes stuck out there, wasn't he, in the sand trap? And a few drivers not making it home. It's right where it all kicked off, on that opening lap. And that was poor Nick Lowndes still stuck out there in the gravel trap. So this was what happened. Just exactly who that was who shot the butler then.
Henny?
I think it might have been Henny. Picked up the scholarship drive recently, Nick Lowndes. Oh, up on the curb. Very similar to what we saw yesterday with Christina All-West and James Watson.
And unfortunately there for Lowndes, he is parked driver's side up against the tyres, so he can't even get out of the car at the moment. He'll be waiting for the recovery crew to come and give him a little bit of a tow out. That's a disappointing way to end race 3 here for the weekend.